we can all kind of benefit from it. I think I got my Hangout to work, though it's like the third one I've created. So if you want to listen live, just go to YouTube and you should be able to find that. And maybe I'll share it. Who knows? But it might stop working. Okay. So I wanted to get into a little bit more about the state of the LGBT movement because I feel like it is kind of diverging paths here, and I'm just gonna get into it. So, LGBT student activist group says gay men not oppressed enough to deserve representation. This is a real statement, and it's something I feel can spew both ways. Me and Derek were on a show a while back, actually, and we were talking about. Well, I don't even know if I was. We've talked about it before, but he did a whole show on it about how we should drop some of the letters from the LGBT saying because blah blah blah. Anyway, I just feel that when we start getting into like the nitpicking, oh, this person doesn't deserve this because of that, and this person doesn't deserve this because of that, and we're all people and we're all for a cause, which is equality and fighting for each other's rights. I feel like it's kind of defeating the purpose once we start, casting people out because they're not oppressed enough. What the fuck does that even mean? How can you be semi-oppressed? Oppression is oppression. But anyway, the National Union of Students LGBT campaign, a coalition of student activists, passed a motion to end committee representation for gay men because they aren't as oppressed as other LGBT individuals, like students of color and transgender students. Okay, so we're just breaking it off. And this is on reasons.com. You're breaking it off, and I don't get that. Like, it's all for equality. You can't say, treat me different, and when you're fighting to be treated the same. I just feel like it's contradicting the purpose, and I feel like that's what they want. They want it to be confused. They want people to start all this infighting or whatever, because they want us to separate it between white and black, and because they want violence. They want to be able to control, and it's the infamous government. They want you to be looked at like you're different, and I feel like kind of excluding people from a movement is saying, I am different and you're different and we're all different and we shouldn't like each other because of it. That's totally wrong. So this basically article goes into they wanted to suspend like the representation on their whatever because, and I quote, the PC hierarchy, which someone quoted this, which I'm going to read it. I'm not judging this person because I don't know who he is, but whatever. The PC hierarchy: race, gender, sexual identity, and sexual orientation, disability. They say being a white male is so unforgivably evil that being gay does not compensate for it. And I just this they go on to even say in this article, I want to find the exact quote because I should have highlighted it, but I didn't. But it basically says that white male privilege shouldn't guarantee you a seat, or representation in the LGBT movement because you're so privileged. Because you're a white male, and I cannot agree with this. I just really don't agree with this. Because, for instance, let's just break it down here. If you're a white male and you're homosexual, that doesn't make any difference if you're a black man and you're homosexual, because oppression is oppression, and it's that simple. There's no breaking it down. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Saying that because you're gay and you're white, that doesn't matter. Like if you're being discriminated against, that doesn't matter because you're a gay white male. There's other people who we need to focus on. No, that's wrong. We need to be focusing on equality for everyone. And growing up in the South, I just noticed this a lot. It's just like, oh, well, he's rich. I mean, he's white. He had every opportunity. No one cares if, he's being discriminated against. No one cares, if this person's being wronged by the government because, he's white. I disagree. I don't think how much pigment we have in our skin is any indication of how we should be treated. That's why I get into the whole Black Lives Matter debacle and say I don't want to be a part of it, because as long as we keep pointing out our differences, well, we're gonna forever have a problem. How do we stop racism? We stop talking about it. Stop talking about how I'm different from you because you're white and I'm black and you're orange and yellow and gray. Who cares? Like one day we'll all be beige. But anyway, so it's easy to laugh and say, whatever. They should just back off. It's their movement, whatever. But I think the LGBT movement was created for a bigger purpose than to say, oh, well, you're not even oppressed anymore. We're going to kick you off. I don't think that's how it works. And there isn't levels of oppression. I feel like the government can't mistreat you some. It can't be just the tip with liberty or, equality. It's never that way. It's all or nothing, especially for me. Because I feel like you can't meet me halfway with something like my morality or where I stand in the world. Like you can't treat someone half as less than you. Oh, but I only treat them semi badly. Oh yeah, we're separate but we're equal. I don't feel like it should be like this, and I feel like maybe I'm like contradicting myself, because earlier on I said that I totally support organization's right to not like give someone service or whatever. But I feel like the LGBT movement, this is where it dies once they start arguing about who's the most oppressed. Oh no, it's me, it's you. That's not right. I don't feel like it's right. As for hacking some of the letters off, as Derek J did in an earlier episode of Flaming Freedom, I feel like the only time where I'd come in and I'd say, yeah, sure, is transgender, because that isn't a sexuality. You can be transgender and you can be gay or you can be straight or whatever. It doesn't matter with that. So I think maybe if we're gonna cut off some acronyms there, it would be that. But I feel like saying, if you're a white male and you're gay, yeah, no, get out of our group. You haven't had it hard enough, which isn't true. And what if you're transgender and you're a white male? I feel like if you're going, you can't be insensitive in the movement where you're trying to get rid of that kind of insensitivity. I feel like it's backpedaling. You're killing your purpose here with this kind of thing. And I don't know how all the gay men in this group are taking it, but they want pretty much every white male rep to step down and let someone else have a day. I guess is how they're putting it. It's pretty fucked up if you ask me. Everyone should be equal. And if you want to talk about gay rights and you're a white male, go for it.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Arcade City is a ride-sharing app built by drivers for drivers. It's more decentralized than Uber and Lyft. With Arcade City, you can keep all of what you earn. Sign up now to drive for Arcade City at arcade.freetalklive.com. Arcade City was created by New Hampshire liberty activist Christopher David. When he publicized the idea in January 2016, he hoped to recruit 100 drivers by the end of the month. Instead, he blew past his goal with over 1,300 drivers signing up in just 2 weeks. Arcade City is connecting drivers directly with riders and is disrupting the already disrupted transportation industry. If you want to get involved, you can join as a rider or a driver. To ride with Arcade City, visit arcaderide.freetalklive.com. To drive with Arcade City, visit arcade.freetalklive.com. That's arcade.freetalklive.com to drive, or arcaderide.freetalklive.com to ride with Arcade City.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nesquik. Try Nesquik 4-packs, perfect for lunches and great for kids on the go. Look for it in the juice aisle. Snack time is a great chance to sneak extra calcium into your child's diet without making him feel like he's eating something he doesn't want. Serve up dairy-rich foods like smoothies, flavored milk, frozen yogurt, and string cheese. He'll love the treat, and you'll love knowing how good it is for him. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
If you can't listen to the Liberty Radio Network's internet streams, free satellite channel, or radio affiliates, no worries. You can listen to LRN.FM from any phone, anywhere. Add this number to your phone, 213-493-0309. It's a long-distance call, so make sure you're familiar with your phone's calling plan. The Liberty Radio Network listen lines are locked into our stream 24 hours a day. Call 213-493-0309. That's 213-493-0309.
This is the Onion Week in Review. In local news, a succession of terrible events failed to befall a 33-year-old riding a longboard to his digital media job Monday. Shocked bystanders helplessly watched as media developer Jake Reston skated safely through Manhattan traffic without flipping over on his obnoxiously oversized skateboard and smashing his stupid face into the pavement, with many saying they were horrified at the sight of the floppy-haired little shit walking into his office unscathed.
It was one of the most horrible things I've ever seen. He wasn't even hit by a car. I was just praying that someone would step in and throw him off the stupid little skateboard and punch him right in the mouth.
In other news, a study finds owning a cool leather jacket is more rewarding than raising a child. A community garden sprouts the first condom wrapper of spring, and a little turtle gorges on an entire raspberry.
Tonight in the cabin, school marm's telling about how they talk about corpulation down the school. Only a fool needs telling how to screw. Just let the pecker guide you. But come on, listen anyhow.
This is the Onion News Network.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Dance, jump on it, if you've sexed and flown it. Well, it's Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe it, just watch. Come on.
And welcome back to the Rebel Love Show. This is your Rebel Mistress here, live and uncensored. So we're talking about some of the statements from the Liberty movement. Sorry, not Liberty, LGBT movement. You know, as much as I like movements and all that good stuff, I feel like we really need to focus on individual liberation, because a lot of the times these movements, they want to have such a purpose or such a central purpose that they kind of start excluding others for things that, you know, even if they don't, I don't know, they just started excluding others, you know, and if they want to help the movement, if they're not hurting the movement, and you know, you just want to like X them out because you feel like they're not oppressed enough, or what the fuck ever. I feel like that's just crazy, and they're ruining their own movement with this. I want to talk about dropping some more of the LGBT acronym, because what they want to drop as well is the A, or they say it should only stand for asexual, not ally. So I don't know many asexual people. I feel like I know some asexual people, but I feel like they're just maybe super duper kinky and scared to admit it. That's just my opinion. I feel like people are naturally sexual beings, and if you're not sexual, maybe you're just a furry. Maybe you haven't found the right kind of VR porn yet. Like, just wait. Soon there'll be VR porn for furries. If you want to kiss a straight man in a wig, you know, you're into like dirt, like pie sitting. I watched that, you know, it was a show. This guy, it was just, he made this like porn, but like he was clothed, fully clothed, and he just sit in a pie, like in his clothes, or just like in a costume. and that's gonna get some people off. So I mean, I feel like asexual. I don't know if it's a thing or if it's not a thing or how that works, but I feel like it can be broad. And I feel like ally is good because I feel like this was opening to the LGBT community because it was LGBT plus A. And I thought ally was good because, what if I don't define myself as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and all the other acronyms, but I fully support the movement, then I want to consider myself an ally. And, maybe I want to help and contribute to the cause, but that's just not an option. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I'm a full anarchist. I don't feel like I'm like a semi or a minarchist or anything. So I sometimes it's hard getting into the legality of things, but I just want to talk about, in a free society. And I do believe in a free society, you have the right to associate or disassociate, but I feel like your movement's gonna die once you start just trying to ex-nay a whole groups of people just on broad generalizations. Oh, you're a white male, so I don't want you as part of my movement. So yeah. Now, I wanted to get into kind of hate crimes after that because I feel like they directly tie into each other because hate crimes, when I think of hate crimes, I think of things, targeted at people because of race, because of gender, that kind of thing. But a congressman wants to introduce a bill to add police and cops into the hate crime territory, into the hashtag Blue Lives Matters Act. So I don't know if this makes you want to vomit or if it's just me, because I don't really like cops that much. And like, I'm even on this like policeone.com. Like, ugh. Like, I'm sure the Fed's tracking me now. But, I mean, I find this, like, ironic. Because in 1 second, I'm reading the LGBT movement wants to ixnay gay white men. Sorry. If you're black and you're gay, you're still good. If you're white and you're gay, you don't matter anymore. So, yeah. But if you're a cop, apparently, and your Blue Life Matters, then now it's the LGBT going to add a C for cop? Since they're so discriminated against, oh no, cops are so oppressed, but not white male cops, obviously, which pretty much would probably be pretty much all cops in broad sense of things. But yeah, so this congressman introduced a bill to make the killing of police, I don't know, or the abuse of police, or just an outright hate crime. Because Blue Lives Matter, Greenlee Co. Sorry, I reread that part. It was just this Wednesday in Washington, D.C., and I think this bill is probably going to pass. This is the Blue Lives Matter Act of 2016, which would expand the federal hate crime statute to include law enforcement officers who are targeted for acts of violence because of their jobs. Okay, so first of all, I feel like if you're going to use the excuse, I'm just doing my job, to hurt people, which most cops do, that's all they are. They're violent, they're thugs, they're gangsters, every single last one of them. And I will make a broad generalization, because if you feel like you're not one of these people, you should quit your job. If you feel like, you're the victim of a hate crime because you're a cop, but all you do is violence all day, I don't see how you fall into the category. Like I said, I don't agree with the LGBT movement kind of ex-naying gay white males. Are you gonna add the C for the cop next? Okay, so this guy says he's been in law enforcement for 25 years before he started this job. The Wisdom Republican said, I've seen over and over both police officers on the street and federal agents, jail deputies, and Bureau of Prison officials being threatened by very dangerous people. I have a passion for trying to protect those who protect us, and that's what this bill is about. And let me just stop you right there, because if we're gonna take a poll here and we're gonna ask, when you pull up beside a cop, do you feel safe? Do you feel like they're here to protect you? because I feel like they're here to extort me, to harass me, and to make sure I follow the rules of their society. See, I'm promoting love here. I started this show with love, and we should love one another. But I feel like when it comes to bureaucrats, especially the police, we're gonna say the LGBT people, especially white men, need to get out of a movement trying to create change, and then now it's because they're less oppressed. And now I feel like the cops are like raising their hands, and they're like, we're oppressed, us. No. And I'm going to go back to Trump here because I feel like it always leads back to Trump or whoever. I haven't read everyone else's policies. Let me just make that clear. I think everyone's equally shitty. But I like reading his, foreign policy and everything else because I feel like he's just outrightly fear-mongering and a very violent person, and he's attracting that from people. I want to see how people are actually thinking. But anyway, he says that, the cops are the targeted ones, and we need to do more to make sure they aren't scared to do their jobs. Are you fucking kidding me here, people? Okay, more when we come back.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadavi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Are you a political activist who does things that the government might not like? Then this free ebook may save your life. Rats is your guide to protecting yourself against snitches, informers, informants, agents provocateur, narcs, finks, and similar vermin. Rats was written by OG libertarian Claire Wolfe. Rats is a short book, easy to read, and available free in many formats. Download Rats free at rats-nosnitch.com. That's rats-nosnitch.com.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too,
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
Right, we just can't have people floating about unregulated,
DVD, books, music, instruments, periodicals, computers, software, electronics, photo, cell phone, office products, home and garden, bed and bath, furniture, kitchen, pet supplies, automotive, hardware, apparel, shoes, jewelry, grocery, healthcare, sports and outdoors, toys, games, used, and more. It's a department store at your fingertips. Shop.lrn.fm. Get all your shopping done, get a great deal, and a portion of your purchase goes to benefit the Liberty Radio Network when you shop at Amazon via shop.lrn.fm. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it
And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
I got a big fat ass. Come on.
And welcome back to Flaming Freedom. I'm so surprised I'm still getting views on YouTube because I have like 3 different videos created now because I don't know what I'm doing. Well, I do know what I'm doing, but it's not working for me. I swear, it's YouTube's fault. Anywho, I did want to read this quote. I'll just read it. Folks are in a race to get, it's from Dale, fellow host of Flaming Freedom. Folks are in a race to get to the bottom of the oppression barrel because that's what gets them the most subsidies, sympathy cards to play, so they don't actually have to compete on a basis of competence. Now, he said this in regards to the thing we were talking about earlier, the LGBT statement. But I feel like it's the same now. Before I went on break, I was going over this congressman who wants to pass a bill to add cops to the category of hate crimes. Anything that happens to a cop is now a hate crime because Blue Lives Matter. Barf. Anyway, so Buck says if it were to become a law, the act would provide federal prosecutors with an extra measure of authority in cases such as, then he goes to talk about how 2 cops were killed in New York. And he just goes on to say how they're targeted for these violent crimes because of their background. The measure comes at a time when cases of attacks on police officers and deadly use of force by officers have made shocking headlines across the country. So most of the headlines I'm seeing are not from, oh my God, look at that victimized cop. Oh my God, I'm watching these people killing cop videos every day. It's so sad. Poor police officers. That's actually not at all what I'm seeing. How about poor every single person else who isn't hiding behind a shiny badge that's granting them the right to be fucking bullies? Because that's all I've seen. And I'm not the type of person that's like, oh yeah, kill all cops. Like, no, I don't believe in violence. But that's exactly why I don't believe they deserve to fall in this hate crime category, because all they are is violence. They're a group of gangsters. They're a group of thugs hiding behind their shiny badges and hurting people, and they're mostly the ones hurting people. Yes, there are cop killings, and some people are very biased against cops, but I mean, I feel like they've definitely had a reason to be the center of such aggression. And it's because of the job they do. And I'm not going to use the excuse, oh, they're just doing their jobs. Fuck that. Choose a different job. There's lots of other jobs. And I don't know. I always go to what would you do in a voluntary society? And what I'd do is I'd stop having a police force, I think. And anyone who wanted to handle a dispute could hire a private organization to handle that dispute, and that way we get over things like the cops discriminating against people, because it's gonna be so easy. I feel like this is just making it so easy, like the statement from Dale, the race to the bottom of the barrel to be a victim, because victims are that apparently the hip thing. No, I think we should leave this for actual victims. We should leave hate crimes for actual victims. And we're not in a voluntary society. So the only thing we can do is focus on the society we are in now. And I feel like this society does not need another thing for fucking cops to hide behind. Oh, we're the victims of hate crimes. Look at us, poor police officers. Yeah. Poor police officers. Yeah. Get a different job. Get a real job, actually. Get a real job. When you talk about hate crime legislation, it's always kind of a tough area. And, you know, I'm just, like I said earlier, I'm an anarchist. Legislation, illegality are just like not on the top of my list of priorities. So this Senator Buck goes on to say, what makes the assault or the murder of a person of a specific background any more or less heinous than someone who doesn't fit into one of those categories? I feel like this is just clear. When I go even back to Trump saying, you know, it's the cops who are the victims, it's just clear kind of, you know, fear mongering. We think cops are being abused. Like, yes, like a cop isn't different from any like lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, black, brown person who we victimized, you know? They have blue blood running through their veins, and that needs to be preserved. No, I mean, I totally disagree with this. I feel like there's enough laws on the books to protect cops. There's too many laws to protect them so that they can have their safe, cushy job bullying people. I'm gonna message to look at Telegram right now, but I don't have my phone, so yay. But anyway, so back to the statement at hand. Yeah, so when we get into hate crimes and any kind of crime, and I'm gonna even diverge this back to rape and how I feel it's from that show that I did earlier, Working Girls. I feel like when we add things like statutory and whatever else to rape, you're getting over rape. Rape is rape, okay? I don't think it should be like in these classes or categories. If someone has violently forced themselves upon you, you know, that is rape. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts. I don't feel like it's a gray area with certain things. And if we go back to this, like there is no gray area. I feel like a hate crime should be reserved to you know, people who are actually the victims of hate crimes. What I am seeing more than ever is more like Muslims. I'm watching videos every day of Muslim people being harassed, called terrorists, beat up in gas station parking lots. And you have the nerve, Congressman or whoever you are of the United States, to say that we need to protect more cops when I can go on YouTube right now and watch, you know, some Muslim guy being beat up at the grocery store with his kid because of his religion, but cops are who we need to protect right now? Really? Yeah, no, I'm pretty teetotal about this. On it to save it for last. But yeah, I mean, I feel like even if you go back, I'm not even gonna say rape, just all violence in general. I feel like if their badges are going to grant them some kind of extra rights, it either is or it isn't. If you want to be targeted, if you don't want to be targeted for a hate crime, then maybe you should quit your job, because I know a lot of people hate cops, and I feel like they have every reason to. Am I saying people have the right to kill cops? Oh, absolutely not. But 9 times out of 10, they're not the actual ones being victimized. And I feel like this is mostly more an excuse to militarize the police, which is also what I'm seeing more and more everywhere. Even down, I'm in Manchester, and I remember a couple months ago, everyone's going to town halls to protest barricades and stuff. And I'm just like, why does this small town need a barricade? Like, why do you need to be driving an armored tank down your street? Like, that's not something I understand. And even in New York and DC and all those places where you see all these like violent riots or whatever breaking out, I feel like the militarized police aren't making that any better. And the more legislation passed to protect these cops and these officers, is the less liberty is giving to the everyday person. We're putting them in a higher tier. than anyone else, and it shouldn't be that way. They should be held accountable for all their the same as anyone else. And I feel like labeling, putting them in the category of people who can be victims of hate crimes is just giving them more power. They want that sympathy card from you. Don't give it to them. Okay, more when we come back.
This is your Roberts & Roberts Brokerage Daily Precious Metals Update. In early trading Thursday, gold is $2 lower at $1,222 per ounce. Silver is even at $15.36 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at $416 US. Both silver and gold are significantly lower after yesterday's sharp drop. This would be a great time to take advantage of buying on the dips. Give us a call at 800-874-9760 or visit us online at rrbi.co.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country.
Yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market, making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing. To be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
If you want to move to the Free State and you're looking for some real estate.
Oof, I think we've all had enough of that jingle, don't you? If you're going to invest in property in New Hampshire, it just makes sense to support a Liberty-friendly realtor. Call Mark Warden of Team Porcupine Real Estate for investment property or rentals in the Free State, or visit his website. Come on, you know it.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Anyone can publish on the internet, but not everyone is publishing material suited for online reading. According to the Yahoo Style Guide, it cautions that internet content has a few seconds, 3 or less, to encourage people to read more, to take action, or navigate to another one of your pages. So make it easy for readers to pick and choose. Isn't that the way you poke around online? Use short words, short sentences, short paragraphs, bulleted lists, and short pages. Front load what you write, putting the most important information at the beginning of headlines and paragraphs and sentences. Same goes for your keywords, what someone would likely type into the search box on Yahoo or Google. For more tips on communicating better online or in a job interview or everyday life, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
welcome back to Flaming Freedom. You're here with your Rebel Mistress, live and uncensored as always. Let me just get into the nitty-gritty. I actually might be not doing Flaming Freedom for as long as I originally thought, because I won't be attending the Porcupine Freedom Festival, and I have a lot of other things that I need to do. So you might get another sexy co-host. Probably not as sexy as me. There can only be one Rebel Mistress. But there are a lot of other great hosts of Flaming Freedom. So hopefully I've entertained you at least thoroughly, at least somewhat so. I think a high and tight but gay narcissist, one of the males would be great at doing this. Actually, I was just looking at the group and they were discussing having who's the hottest libertarian male awards, and I don't know if it was specifically for gay narcissists, but I definitely think most of the men on this show like get the top 3 awards. I'd have to say Steven's number 1 because I like Steven. He wins my number 1 for hottest libertarian gay narcissist male because he's pretty hot. He's a smart guy and he has long hair and he's not afraid to put on a dress and show you who's boss. And that's what I like. Derek will probably win next year. I don't know how big the pool is, but yep. So that's my announcement here for Flaming Freedom. I might, not be doing it as long as I had originally thought and passing the reins on, but we shall see. If that does happen, maybe I'll start my own show. I've been debating it and talking with a few other networks. As you know or you don't know, I do a few audio books, which you can find on Amazon, iTunes, Audible. Yep, and Amazon, iTunes, and Audible. If you search The Rebel Mistress, I have 2 books out now. My 3rd book should be coming out soon. Actually, I'll probably be working on it tonight. But yeah, so I might be doing a show switching to just mainly topics like that or things like this show. So I wanted to give you a hint of what it would be like. For instance, so it'd just be me, single person show talking. I'd like to have guests because I like to interview people. I've been getting a call all day, so I decided I'd answer. Is anyone there? Okay, that was your shining moment, Farty McFly. Deuces. And I'll probably block you now. But anyway, so it'd probably be more like this show. I like topics and just talking about it and kind of going into detail, and also just the audiobook world, because I've noticed just with the internet is so vast and it's so great. Facebook is so great for networking. Like I was saying earlier, like sometimes I just go on Facebook and look for show topics, or I'll type something into Facebook to get a bunch of different opinions on it, and then I'll kind of compare that to my views. And I think it's great. And through Facebook, I found a large community for voice acting, because who knew? But like I said, anything you're into, someone else is into. And now with the internet, we can all be brought together because of it. And I think more than ever, that is a time to love. That is a reason we can all love each other, because we're within arms. Well, not arms, but laptops reach of each other now. And there's so much more opportunity to love and make friends. And that's what I've been doing. I've been making new friends and meeting new people through the voice acting world just by searching, voice acting on Facebook. Who knew? There's so many things that that people have. There's so many groups. I've gotten a lot of free like audiobooks and shit. Like, it's been great. It's all because, I typed in a few keywords on Facebook and I found these people. And they have lively debates and lively discussions. And I've been just getting more involved in social media lately anyway, because I want to market more and, I want to promote my brand and my books more. I do the 2 podcasts. So I've just been looking for more ways to venture out. And I really found that that avenue through Facebook. So I want to see how far I can take it. So yeah, that's basically what I've been doing lately, and I've found like a huge interest in the audiobook world or the voice acting world, people who just do commercials and whatever. And I've been learning so much, and I try to do that. I try to use every opportunity as a learning opportunity. because you never know what you're going to find out. You never know what you're going to learn. And you also never know who you're going to meet. I've been organizing hangouts and meetups between these people, just really networking. And I think in about 5 years, I'll really be where I want to be in my career. But I just really, really got to focus on it, which is easier said than done most times. But anyway, so yeah, with that, I mean, I love Flaming Freedom, and I love being here for the past, I don't even know how long I've been doing it. I lost count. My fiance asked me this morning, he's like, how long have you been doing Flaming Freedom? And I'm just like, I have no idea. Actually, I think about 6 months. I can't even answer because it's been so long. I started doing it before I moved in this house. I remember our studio, this great studio that you see before you, wasn't even set up, and I had to go to Dale's house and do the show from there. And that was like when it first started, and it was like all hectic, but it was great. And I really do like podcasting, so I definitely want to keep going down that avenue. I think I like it. If you like me, I don't know. Probably not, but I can definitely run my mouth for a while. So I think I'll stick in podcasting, but I think I'm gonna go do some Muggle, non-libertarian kind of things, and people are welcome to keep following me and see what all comes about. But yeah, I mean, life sometimes throws us some curveballs, or what is the saying? If life hands you lemons, just say fuck the lemons and bail. That's pretty much my philosophy. I don't even like lemonade, so I just got to keep, pushing and persevering. But again, if you want to see my work, keep following The Rebel Mistress. And I want to do more blogs, and I already have a blog out. It's called Sex, Drugs, and Anarchy, where I kind of talk about key aspects of life, and I try to get into the philosophical regions of them all. And I really do want to focus on philosophy because like I started this show with, I feel like tech is great, and I don't want to hinder it at all. I think just the way we talk to one another and the way we handle our daily disputes can be better, and there can be more room for love. We just need to leave more room for love. And I feel like I definitely want to continue to keep, preaching that message, and try to just inspire others with my actions and just how I handle things. I've gotten a lot of compliments this week, and people are like, oh, you've been through a lot this week. But I really condone the way, you still have love in your heart, and you still like, you have a way of doing things where you can remain positive. And like, I started with the tweet box, becoming a racist neo-Nazi within like 12 hours of being created, because that's what the internet is that's what it's getting from the internet. And that's not saying to say the internet's evil. It's just the way people are talking to each other is not necessarily the best way. But I think the internet is a great resource to connect with people from all over the world, and there's more things to talk about than hate. I, for one, have been doing it this whole time, just trying to spread the message of love and liberty. But yeah, go like The Rebel Mistress on Facebook. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. And like I said, it's been great hosting this show, but I won't be attending PorcFest. And so I think someone else should probably take it over until they get to that point. I think Team Vengeance actually been canceled for this year, which it might turn around. It might not be canceled anymore. We got to keep our fingers crossed. And in which case, I still want to help out with the party and see you all there. But if that's not going to be the case either, that's unfortunate. But we like I said, when life hands you lemons, you just got to do what you got to do with them. So yep, that's pretty much been our show. And if I could leave you with one thing, I think the most important thing would be is if I can stress the message of love. Like, imagine if you went onto the internet every day and just said something positive. And I used to avoid the internet, I feel like, because it was a place where people were negative and there was a bunch of opinions I didn't want to see or hear. But I realized I wasn't contributing my own. And maybe if I did that, if I contributed my own opinion, it could make someone smile, it could help someone out, or it could help someone see something differently. And I've even had conversations with people who totally are on the other side of the spectrum as me, but they have always congratulated me for making them see something different or think about something in a way they never thought about it before. Again, go like The Rebel Mistress on Facebook, look for my audiobooks, and love one another. Have a good night.